What it do, YouTube man? It's your boy Bad Habits here, and today I got a banger for y'all today. And if you read the title, you should know what we're talking about. Another story time for y'all. But here's the kicker: you get 3 story times in one. Yes, you heard that correctly. I'm going to bunch in 3 different stories into 15 minutes. If you're ready for it, hit me with a like. Get yourself a Gatorade, get yourself a juice, get yourself another juice, and then get yourself a Nutri-Grain bar, because you're going to need it because your throat's going to be dry as hell. But anyway, on with the show. Now, this is a story that my mom has taught me, or has told me when I was maybe 12. And I remember the story because it was scared the crap out of me. But the story goes like this. My mom was around 9, maybe 10. And it was on the day of a funeral. My mom's and the family's out there at the house, chilling, trying to build everybody's spirits back up after losing somebody close. And my great auntie's not obviously at the building with everybody else. She's at her house doing some weird, shady stuff. My mom, being the nosy kid she was, she found my great auntie, my great auntie, doing these rituals. So she found my great auntie doing rituals. Who we're gonna call Great Auntie Shelby? G.A. Shelby. That's what we're gonna call it. G.A. Shelby. G.A. Shelby was sitting there doing a ritual where halfway through she was already morphing into this ghoulish-like figure, right? And after she started doing this morph, she starts to convulse and have a seizure, which, right on time, my great uncle Greg, notices her on the floor spazzing out. He calls over his brothers, and they try to help her, where they finally notice that they're getting pushed off by something completely different. Imagine like the stink meter thing, but 10 times worse. So they're getting pushed off, shoved off, stiff-armed, and all that other stuff. And they're like, okay, none of this is gonna work. Let's take her to the church, which they obviously do. They make it to the church, and my great granddad is up there. So my great granddad is up there, and he notices that they are dragging Auntie Shelby in, and she's like she doesn't sound like G.A. Shelby. She sounds like somebody completely different. So great granddad notices this shit and immediately starts with the exorcist. Started throwing holy water at her, which obviously you can see from the window. You can see it start to steam off, like it was burning her skin. You can see it from the when my mom said you can see it from the window. You can see it from the window and all that other stuff. And after a while, everything starts to die down. When everything starts to die down, G.A. Shelby's mouth slowly opens, and you see this weird, dark, smoke come out her mouth. And it was dark. It wasn't just pitch black dark. It was dark, you can't see shit through it type dark. And then it just comes out, darts around and stops directly in the middle of the group. And you can see this weird, ominous face in it, which obviously tells me that it was fucked up to begin with, because how it ominously looked in it, and then it just as fast as it came in, it disappeared, poof, gone. And then they took took G.A. Shelby to the hospital, where she was there for a few days because of the coma. She obviously recovered and all that other stuff, but my mom, on the other hand, saw everything. And this is where the next story comes into play, because I think that this was that thing coming back, but it was just not as strong as this time. So fast forward about 10, maybe 11, 12 years. My mom was about 23, 24, and she had me. Now, everybody knows the saying, as a kid, you see a lot of things, due to the fact that your imagination is a lot bigger than an adult's. So as a kid, you do some nosy shit. So I woke up late at night hearing my mom and my grandma talking. Turns out my mom and grandma was talking about how she got strangled when she was in the room. that I was sleeping in. So she talked to my grandma about that, and my mom tells her, and my grandma tells her, it's gonna be okay. You're going to get blessed tomorrow anyway. You're gonna be the reason why everything's gonna change. And I hear that, I wake up and walk to the door, peek outside. My mom has already walked to the living room. My mom is literally just a straight shot from my living room, the living room to my grandma's room on the right. Straight ahead is another room to my left. It's the rest of the hallway that leads down to my room, where I was sleeping. Mom was already made it halfway down the hallway. And in that instant, I saw this weird, tall, black figure. Torso of a man, lower half of a goat, hooves and all, walking right behind it. Like, you couldn't, and plus the weirdest part is, you couldn't hear the footsteps, but I could see it walking. And it turned. Now, when I saw the thing, I immediately jumped back behind the door because I was freaked out about it. But there was a mirror on the wall that's right behind the door that points straight back into the hallway. And I could see its head turn to the right towards my room and stare for what seemed to be 30 seconds to a minute. And when I saw the figure, it didn't have no eyes. It was pure white, like it was as white as the screen can be. It was white, pure, straight, pure white. And it sat there for 30 seconds to a minute, staring into my room. And then it stopped, turned its head, and just as fast as I saw it, it's just as fast as it was gone. When it hit the hallway, it was gone. I even got up, felt like I was sleepy still, walked to the living room where my mom was at, and she saw me, was like, boy, go back to bed. And she picked me up and took me back to bed, because I was like maybe 3 or 4. Picked me up and took me and put me back in the bed, put me to sleep. And I never told her that I saw it, but she has told the story about how she's felt like things were walking around her at that point in time. And the creepiest part about it is, I think it tried to get to me once, cause here's this story. My grandma had a VHS player, and a bunch of VHS tapes. So we would watch Aunt Z, The Prince of Egypt, Pocahontas, The Little Mermaid, the Ninja Turtles, The Emperor's New Groove, everything, right? And we had a bunch of tapes. And somehow I managed to find the one tape that was the complete ominous one out of the entire group. It was a normal cassette tape with no title or no indicator that there was a title on there. There was no title on the roof of the thing, because normally there was some people who put that there. There was none of that. There was no indicator for that. It was nowhere, right? And I decided to watch it. It was a Disney thing. It was a Disney themed thing. And it was like a Disney sing-along thing, because it played the whole Disney, It was normal. I went to the kitchen to grab me something to drink and came back. When I got back, it was playing a cartoon that happened in the beginning. Mickey was walking, and it wasn't in a normal spot. He was walking like this weird red corridor, right? And he was walking, and out of nowhere, he stopped and looked around. Kept walking, stopped, looked around. He did that for 4 or 5 times. And on the 5th time, he stopped, looked around, slowly panned his head to the camera, and pointed with the most eeriest of smiles. Like, if you ever seen the movie Truth or Dare, right? That smile, but a lot bigger. Like a cartoonishly big smile. And he pointed for a minute and a half. No sound, no music, no nothing. For a minute and a half. And in the reflection of the TV, I saw 3 dark figures. Taller than me, because I was a kid. Taller than me, with no facial features, and glowing white eyes. And I swear to God, I literally felt a hand on my left shoulder. And I turned around so fast, because when the hand touched me, it felt like it gripped me like I was a grown ass man. Gripped my shoulder like it was squeezing, and I turned around so fast, I almost dropped my shit and spilled it all over the bed. I turned around, nothing was there. Nothing. Not a single soul. I expected it to be my uncles there and they were playing a prank on me, but nothing. Not a soul. Not anything was there. And I turned back to the screen and it was back to normal. Like it was just a normal movie. Or the normal sing-along shit. So I was like, what the fuck? I took the tape out, obviously, put it back where I found it, and actually picked the actual movie to calm myself down. After that, I literally thought about that. After that, it never left my mind, the image of those three figures in the reflection staring down upon me. Like, I'm in a room right now and I always have my room dark as shit. Like, there's times where I sat there and thought about those three figures standing at the foot of my bed, staring at me, scaring me. And I'm 19 now, and I swear to God, I have never, and I repeat, have never seen that tape again. I swear to God, I never want to find that tape again. But that's besides the point. If you like the three stories of today, hit me with a like. Tell me in the comments what other story you want to listen to next, and I bet you the next time I upload a story time, it's gonna be that story. But anyway, it's been your boy Bad Habits out here. Subscribe to the goddamn YouTube channel because I know you want to. And yeah, I'm out of here. Peace.